It's time for today's travel and cruise industry news. With the latest from travel and cruises around the world, here's your host, Chillie Falls.
Hey, good morning and welcome to a delayed version of Thursday's travel and cruise industry news. As I did the show earlier and apparently there was some kind of technical issue and the show didn't get up. So we're just going to start all over and repost it. So welcome to Thursday Travel and Cruise Industry News Podcast on this, the 20th day of June, 2024. Today's headlines, the lead story is Landfall for Tropical Storm Alberto. Also today, we've got a huge bill for seasickness. Princess delays new dining reservation system. Lookout Key at Lighthouse Point welcomes first guests. Oceania Expands Culinary Offerings. Tampa to build the fourth cruise terminal, and lots more live here at, actually, it's about 11:45 this morning. Today, folks, is National Vanilla Milkshake Day. Not my favorites, but I like a little milkshake, especially in this kind of weather. So that's always good. If you're listening via the podcast, I hope that didn't get totally screwed up as well, but you're welcome here at all times. You can always access the podcast via my blog, which is accessadventure.net, or wherever you get your podcast from. Just search for Travel and Cruise Industry News, and up pops the Fat Travel Guy. So we'll be taking a few shortcuts this morning, folks, and we might as well get started with that. So I'll be back with today's news after a quick break from one of our network sponsors. Tropical Storm Alberto, the first named storm of the season, is set to impact portions of the Texas coast, including the Port of Galveston, bringing heavy rain and strong winds to the destination. So far, no cruise departures have been affected, but book guests and cruise line officials are watching the situation closely. Alberto achieved landfall on the coast of Mexico about 7:30 a.m. today. Heavy rains and gusty winds are starting to subside for the Texas coast, but should continue through this morning along the northeastern Mexican border. Currently, it's located about, the center of the storm, that is located about 40 miles east of Tampico, Mexico, which is about 250 miles south of Brownsville, Texas, carrying sustained winds of 50 miles per hour. Currently, it's moving to the west at 13 miles per hour. Minimum pressure is 993 millibars. Weakening is anticipated after Alberta moves further ashore, and the storm is likely to dissipate over Mexico later today or tonight. Meanwhile, in the southwestern Gulf of Mexico, a broad area of low pressure is forecast to form near the Yucatan Peninsula on Friday. Environmental conditions appear to be conducive for gradual development thereafter, and the system could become a tropical depression over the southwestern Gulf of Mexico this weekend, while it moves slowly west-northwestward or northwestward, kind of following the footsteps of Alberta. Chance of formation over the next 48 hours is low, around 10%, but jumps up to 50% over the next 7 days. Also, a small area of low pressure located about 250 miles east of the northernmost Bahamas is producing disorganized shower and thunderstorm activity, while environmental conditions are only marginally conducive due to nearby dry air. Further development of this system is possible while the low moves west-northwestward and approaches the northeastern coast of Florida or the Georgia coast early on Friday. Over the next 48 hours, they're calling for 30% chance of further development and 30% over the next 7 days. An experienced cruise passenger was surprised when she began to feel sick from the rough seas on the first night of her recent Alaska cruise on the Norwegian Bliss. But what was even more shocking was the cost of seeking care from the onboard infirmary, with charges totaling over $2,000. After a night of seasickness, the guest, we will call Diana, dragged herself to the 4,000 passenger vessel's medical center, where she was seen by a doctor, given IV fluids and anti-nausea medication to alleviate her symptoms. Diana posted a photo of her final bill, which calls for a payment of $2,297 for supplies, medications, and services rendered. On most cruise ships, the final payment for medical bills like this is typically due before guests disembark the ship after the conclusion of the cruise, although passengers who invest in travel insurance, as Diana did, can submit a claim to their insurance provider for reimbursement. Still, looking at the bill, $109 to place and read the oximeter, in addition to charging for the nurse's time, seems a bit excessive. Join author Ivan Cox and me on the cruise ship Dr. Cruise on the Norwegian Epic, sailing from Port Canaveral on November the 16th, 2024. This is going to be a highly entertaining cruise with stops in Puerto Plata, St. Thomas, Portola, and the British Virgin Islands, Great Stirrup Cay. Join us in November. Cruise ship Dr. Cruise. Just call me 434-258-9264. Princess Cruises announced a delay in the launch of its new dining reservation system, citing an unforeseen holdup in the Princess Cruises app update as the cause. Originally scheduled to launch on June 17th, the new date for guests to make dining reservations is now set for July the 1st. Disney Cruise Line has experienced significant growth in recent years, marked by the introduction of Disney Lookout Cay at Lighthouse Point, a new private island destination in the Bahamas. This exclusive destination began welcoming guests with a preview cruise on the Disney Magic on June the 6th, followed by an inaugural sailing on the Disney Fantasy on June the 8th. This development is part of Disney's broader investment strategy, which includes a $60 billion expenditure on its Disney Experiences segment over the next decade. This segment also includes the upcoming Tiana Bayou adventure at Walt Disney's World Magic Kingdom, set to debut on June 28th. The investment in Lookout Cay alone ranges from $250 to $400 million. The creation of Lookout Cay generated 300 construction jobs for Bahamians and will provide at least 150 operational jobs, ensuring year-round employment. Disney Cruise Line's operations are projected to contribute $70 million annually to the Bahamian GDP. According to an Oxford economic study, the new destination is expected to enhance Bahamian GDP by $800 million and increase government revenues by $355 million over 25 years. Oceania Cruises is expanding its culinary offering with new sushi and Indian cuisine options at Terrace Cafe and an updated poolside lunch menu at Waves Grill across the fleet. The new Indian corner in Terrace Cafe is available once per cruise during dinner service and offers 15 authentic Indian dishes. The sushi station features 45 new recipes created by Oceania Cruises Executive Culinary Directors, Chef Alex Corretti and Eric Barali, and their teams. These include 2 types of sashimi per day, 2 types of uramaki, 3 kinds of nigiri, and a daily vegetarian option. The Waves Grill poolside lunch venue has been revamped to include over 20 revised options, including a new selection of cold sandwiches. These includes the signature Surf and Turf Wagyu burger, a Wagyu beef patty with lobster medallions and truffle mayonnaise, and a new Philly cheesesteak, which is a hot sandwich. Port Tampa Bay commissioners approved a $500,000 contract on Tuesday with an engineering firm to begin the design process for a fourth cruise terminal. Port engineers say the 3 existing cruise terminals are near capacity and that a fourth one needs to be built without interrupting current operations. The new terminal would be located north of Terminal 6. Some opponents see the proposal as being at odds with economic development downtown, citing concerns over parking and waterfront access. Others believe the cruise business can and should keep growing. The board's Tuesday vote on the design contract was unanimous, with the Tampa-based firm HDR Engineering winning the deal. Hey cruisers, join my friend Nate Valier on the NCL Encore Southampton to Miami Transatlantic, sailing December 3rd. With stops in Vigo, Lisbon, and Ponta Delgado, this looks to be an awesome trip and an awesome deal. Prices start at $856 per person, but the really super deal is for the solo balconies that are $1,056, and with the free at sea, $1,345, including taxes and port charges. That's with everything. So, great deal on the NCL Encore, Southampton to Miami, sailing December 3rd. For more information or to book this fabulous transatlantic cruise on the Norwegian Encore, call or text 434-258-9264. All right, so that's going to end the news portion of today's show. Again, my apologies for the technical glitch from the first recording that ended up being no recording, had no audio at all. So I just had redid the show real quickly. Kenneth did pop into the chat room. Well, hello again, Kenneth. My apologies to all you guys that were in the chat room earlier. I had no idea that what was coming. There were some comments about the audio and visuals in the chat room, but everything I was showing said it was there. There's Joanne too. She just stay cool. Yeah, I'm going to try to. I'm going to go get in the pool. Definitely after this glitch with a cocktail. All right, guys. That's going to wrap me up for today. Again, my apologies for having to do this a second time. Hopefully now I can get it processed and actually up. So I'll see everybody back here tomorrow. As always, guys, stay safe, stay healthy. Think about cruising. Hopefully one day soon we'll all get together on the high seas. Have a great day, everybody. See you back here for Friday Travel and Cruise Industry News.
I regularly post videos on all facets of the travel and cruise industry. So if you like to keep up with the latest in cruise ships, ports of call, cruises themselves, Chillie chats, and travel and cruise industry news, just hit the little subscribe button in the lower right-hand corner. Hit the bell notification so you'll be notified when a new video is up or we go live. This video was produced by Chillie's Cruises.